Hello, I'm Steve Cohen, and this is Congressional Report. And Congressional Report, when it gets fall, well, it's time for Tiger football. And we're pleased to have as our guest today Tigers head football coach and a great Tiger All-Star from years back, Larry Porter. Larry, welcome to Congressional Report.
Well, thank you for having me, Steve. It's always a pleasure to be in your presence, and I'm looking forward to enjoying the day with you.
Thank you. Season starts up September 1st. National television. Is it a Thursday night game?
It is.
And an easy opponent, only the best Mississippi State team in the last 20 years.
Yes, they are. Dan Mullen has done a nice job in evolving that program to where they're competitive, and we're looking forward to playing those guys. It's a great measuring stick for our improvement as well, so we're looking forward to it.
Well, last year you opened up down there,
right? And
I was in Dubrovnik, and I couldn't sleep real well. And I got out my BlackBerry and found where I could see the game as it progressed. And I watched it progress from like 3 or 4 in the mornings when I was up in Dubrovnik. And I was cheering when Cannon Smith got that touchdown.
Right.
It was not a good game, though.
It was not. We didn't play a quality game that day, and for a number of reasons. But looking back on it, there was a lot of things that we took from that game because, as new team, new coach, new staff, you as you go forward, you learn a lot about your personnel, your team, and what you need to do to improve. And so it was some good. As bad as it was some good that we took out of that game.
Last year was a bad season. 1-10. We had a lot of games we got beat bad in. You stepped into a very difficult situation coming home to your alma mater. Coach West, God bless him, he left the kind of barren. The cupboard was bare. Had a tough time. Why should people expect to have a better Tiger team this year? Where do we see improvement, and what are the things people are going to look to see that improvement?
Well, first and foremost, our program is improved in every aspect of our program. Every aspect, from academics, socially, is what I call the Fab Five, and that's character, chemistry, leadership, discipline, and attitude. Those things will serve not only as the foundation of our program, but also the substance and fiber of our program, and will tremendously improve in every area of those elements. And so I'm very excited about that. But as a football team, we are, if you look at us in our 3 units, defensively, we got an opportunity to be 2 deep in our defensive line, as well as our linebacking core. I think our young corners in Lonnie Ballantyne and Torian Nixon in time will be as good as any in this conference. And our safety position is evolving and starting to come to life with the likes of Cannon Smith and Mitch Hughesland, as well as Derek Smith. We got a couple of young guys we're going to add to the mix as well. So overall, defensively, which we struggled a little bit last year, we're better. We're more athletic. Speed-wise, we're tremendously better as well. So I'm looking forward to our defense being, really the foundation and the backbone of our football program and our team. And then offensively, the million-dollar question all summer and spring is, who's your quarterback? And Andy left the spring as the #1 guy, and deservingly so. You have Will Gilchrist, then with the addition of Taylor Reed, as well as a recent transfer in Skylar Jones from Wake Forest. With that being said, I think the competition level at that position alone would create an opportunity for young men to raise their level of play, which in return will give us more productivity at the quarterback position, because whether it's the NFL, college, high school, little league, if your quarterback is not productive, it's hard to have a successful football team, and especially over time. And I think just with the competition alone, we're better right now than at any point we were last year. And so I'm excited about that aspect of our program. So our quarterback position is improved. And then the next position is our offensive line. We're more athletic, we're mobile, we're stronger than we were last year, and although it's a new group and a new unit, I'm very, very excited about our offensive line, because we other than chemistry and continuity, which I don't think we're there yet, but we will be by the time September 1st come. Talent-wise, athleticism, mobility, we're better, and so we improve there. And then from the wide receiver position, I thought we've always been talented there. We just haven't been consistent enough, and that's what we had to improve upon this past spring. I thought we made some strides. We got to continue to take that momentum in which we gained this past spring and carry that into fall camp, and I think we'll be well on our way there.
There's only one place left to go, and you were a running back.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about I thought the running back was the most important position.
It is.
Well, you were there.
It still is, and we were solid there last year with Greg Ray. He was probably our most productive offensive player last year, and Jarrell Rose. But I think we've added to that group with the likes of Artavius Gibson, who's a Memphian, Carl Harris, who's from Dallas, Texas, and Joe Price from Jackson, Mississippi. And all these guys bring a different element or a different game, per se, to the table. And we're improved there. And it'll be some competition there as well. And I feel very, very comfortable about our running back position. I think we can do some things with these guys that can cause some headaches to defensive coordinators, because we got some guys, and I didn't even mention Billy Smith, who was probably our best wide receiver and our best running back throughout the whole course of spring. And so the flexibility we have with guys like Billy, Joe Price, and Carl Harris, being that we can put them at wide receiver or we can play them at running back, would cause headaches for coordinators as we go forward. And we'll start with them guys being primarily ball carriers, but as we go forward, I think we'll expand their roles as they get comfortable, especially young guys. I think Billy's already there. And so as a whole, when you look at our skill set offensively, we have reasons to be excited. Now, what we got to do is identify our playmakers and find ways to get them the ball in positions to where they can put points on the board. And we're looking forward to doing that. And then you look at our special team units with the our All-American punter, Tom Hornsey, as well as our kicker, Paulo Henriques. He probably had a better spring than Tom did, and so I feel very comfortable that our kicking situation within this program is solid for years to come.
Well, the Australian punter was really outstanding, and the kid from West Memphis could kick the ball too. I was impressed with the kicking game. Let me go back to the million-dollar question, which could be the billion-dollar question.
Right.
Quarterback. I mean, everybody wants to know about the quarterback position. Right. Tyler Bass is now at Florida A&M. Ryan Williams is in Miami, Florida. You came in, you went to a pro style. You decided to switch to the spread. Why did you switch? Well,
one, in this league, first and foremost, you got to be able to put points on the board. I mean, you just have to. It's an offensive league, and then two, I wanted to be able to be in a situation where we can have a more up-tempo offense and put the ball in the hands of our playmakers. And then as you sit back, and this is probably the third point, as you sit back and you evaluate our talent, we were probably better served running a spread offense as we were more of a pro style. Our tight end situation needs to improve, and we're not there yet. So as much as I would love to line up and be more of a pro style guy, you can only do what your talent allows you to do. And our talent better serves and better fit more of a spread and an up-tempo offense.
Well, with that, Summerlin, if I remember, played 1 year of junior college ball and had some outstanding numbers. Did he run the spread when he was in JC?
But he ran option in high school.
Okay.
He was an option quarterback in high school with a very, very strong arm.
Isn't he kind of a big kid, like 6'4"?
He's 6'4", 215-ish, 220-ish.
And he can run.
And he can run.
You better learn to.
No doubt about it. Taylor Reed is also a young man.
He's a high school kid. His daddy coached him, right?
Yes, sir.
And where's he from? Bartlett originally, and Arkansas through the
Right. He was born and raised in Bartlett for 11 years, and then father moved over to Arkansas, 2 different stops. So, being that he's only 18 years old, he's lived more in Memphis than he has anywhere else. So we consider him a Memphian.
I do too.
But a tremendous talent. Being that, he won 2 state championships, and that was his 11th grade year and his 12th grade year. His 10th grade year, he almost had 1,000 yards as a wide receiver. Wow. He's a basketball player, and he also is a part of a 4x1 and a 4x2 on the track team. So he's a very athletic kid, very cerebral kid. His football IQ is tremendous. Just about all of our quarterbacks are very intelligent.
Well, I know Will Gilchrist is because his second cousin is Ted Donaldson. He's not a smarter guy in the world than Ted Donaldson.
Right. Well, but Andy has been he's been a great student, and this first session of summer school, Taylor had a 4.0 as well. So the quarterback position kind of holds his on when it comes to academics and just the cerebral part of football. These guys are students of the game. And then you have Skyler, who is a tremendous athlete himself, and he'll be able to serve as a complement to these guys as we settle into this spread offense, and looking forward to doing some exciting things.
The running back situation is another one. We've got only one guy with experience. That's Rhodes. I know Gibson had a knee injury. I guess he's over that.
Yeah.
And then the young man from Jackson, Mississippi, Joe Price. Yeah, he had some good big numbers. He was all Mississippi first or second unit, I forget, but he was a high recruit. The kid from Texas had numbers. He's from what, Dallas-Fort Worth area?
The Dallas Metroplex. The Dallas Metroplex, actually. Yeah.
So you're going to be playing some freshmen,
right? Well, when you look at especially the offensive side of the ball, one position that you can get away with playing a freshman, and not just get away with playing a freshman. There's been a number of freshman running backs who have come in on the college scene and had a tremendous impact. And so I'm looking forward to these guys with the talent level that they have, because all with the exception of Carl Harris, these guys all had BCS offers, SEC offers, and they chose to come to the University of Memphis. So they're very talented guys, and Carl probably is just as talented as all of them. He just wasn't recruited that way, and just based on our evaluation, I love him and looking forward to him doing some good things as well. So I'm not overly concerned about having freshmen play for us this year at the running back position.
You were named recently the #1 recruiter in the country. Some of that was, I think, was it Rivals.com?
Yes.
And you had a great reputation for recruiting at LSU. At Memphis, in your first year, you had a good recruiting year, came in late, and you got a good crop in. Some of the kids had problems that didn't make it. I think your 4-star was a receiver from the prep school where Rose came from.
Farr, right.
He didn't make it, did he?
He did not.
And then this year, one of your good kids was from Mississippi, and I don't think he made his grades either. The kid from
South Haven.
South Haven, yeah, the quarterback.
Right.
It's tougher recruiting in Memphis than LSU. And I saw recently there have been a couple of kids from Ridgeway and a young man from East and a young man from some Memphis kids have announced to other places. Is Memphis a hard place to recruit for the University of Memphis because history?
Well, it is and it is. It isn't. It's all about attitude. And we have to change the attitude of not just the kids, but the people as well within the community. And so I look forward to that. I embrace that because we have a great product here, not only in terms of a football program, but a university as well. And we can't undersell it. And we, meaning myself and my staff, we have to be on the forefront of presenting our product in a way that is appealing but truthful, and people can embrace it and go forward with it. In time, we will own this city. In terms of recruiting. But with that being said, not every kid in this city is a fit for our program. It's just not. And we can't, for example, Joe Price and Carl Harris. They're smaller guys in terms of running backs. with exceptional speed. And so I don't want to get caught in a situation where I got, a backfield full of small guys. So some guys we may choose not to actively recruit in a way that, we're trying to make them a part of our program. With that being said, there are some guys in this city that can make a tremendous difference in our program, within our program. And there are some that will. We got some in our program from this city that will make a tremendous difference in our program. And in time, we will, again, get our hands around this city to the point to where we'll be able to pick and choose the guys that we want. And that's a process. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen, and I'm very confident that it will.
I like your attitude, and that has to happen. For Memphis to have a real good program, we're going to have Memphis as a recruiting base. You've gotten a lot of kids from Louisiana and some kids from Texas, and that's all fine and dandy. But Memphis got to be our base. And I've seen you at churches, so I know you're getting out in the community much more so than previous coaches. Is that what you're doing, or are you developing a relationship with the high school coaches?
You have to, but not just the high school coaches. It's everybody that wants to listen. I mean, we got to share our message, and that's what we've been trying to do. And this, Memphis is home to me, in my mind. This is home. And so for me not to go out and meet people and not just them become a part of us, but we need to become a part of them as well. We need to be serving to the community in a way that they know that we support them just as strongly as they support us. And so I've been trying to, basically go down every avenue I can to get out and say hi, and have our players do that as well, because they need to understand what it means to serve the community and what type of impact that they can have beyond football within the community. So it's something as we go forward that we will continue to grow, and in time people will know that the University of Memphis football program has a great presence within the city in terms of community service.
And which church are you a member of?
Currently, I'm not a member of a church.
I thought Keith Norman claimed you a long time ago.
Did he?
I've seen you at First Baptist.
Well, I go there quite a bit. I do. I also go to St. Andrews as well.
Pastor Robinson.
Pastor Robinson, and that's always been the church that I've attended when I've come back to Memphis when I wasn't living here, and then I've gotten to know Pastor Norman as well, and we have a strong relationship. So I have some loyalties to both, and I kind of bounce back and forth. My wife is starting to nail me down here because she's about tired of it. But
for a football coach, it's probably not a bad idea, and you probably ought to go to Mississippi Boulevard and see Pastor Thomas and see Melvin Charles Smith at Mount Moriah East.
Well, I've been to more than a dozen churches since I've been here. Just want to say hi, and definitely been to those that you've named. And I've been around, and I will continue to get around. But it's important to me that my family has a church home, and our kids can grow spiritually. That's critical in my wife, in my eyes. So
some of the players have commented in the recruiting that's something they appreciated about you.
Right.
And that's a special thing. Who are some of the Memphis kids? I know we got a flanker that's outstanding. I think he's a Whitehaven kid.
Marcus Rucker.
Yeah, he's your top flanker, isn't he?
Right, Marcus Rucker, Donterry Poe.
He's a big one.
He's a huge one. Lonnie Ballantyne has...
I spoke at his high school graduation, and I called him out in the crowd. We were out there at Bellevue Baptist, where it was, and I called him out and congratulated him for going to Memphis, trying to set an example for Williams, number 3, if he was there.
And Fred Harvey, Fred Harvey was actually the first Memphian to commit to me, and I will always be grateful and appreciative of that. He's also done a very admirable job in terms of just being an ambassador for the program as well.
Is he a redshirt freshman or sophomore?
He got redshirted last year, but he had a tremendous spring. He really did, and he's put himself in position to fight for a lot of playing time coming this fall.
He's a linebacker.
He is a linebacker.
And then we got is there an offensive lineman from the city too?
Well, you have Al Bonds.
Yeah, he was South Haven too.
He's from Southwind as well.
Southwind, I'm sorry, Southwind.
And Al redshirted as well last year, but he is. We had a meeting this morning, and he's improved in terms of strength, and he's starting to come on and turn the corner and develop. One of especially when you're young, one of the toughest positions to develop and play early at is offensive line, because there's such a tremendous growth pattern that you have to undertake, as well as mental transition. And him being a intelligent guy, he has great intellect as well. He's one of our 3.0 guys. He has truly come to life, and I think in time we'll be very proud of the job that he would do here as an offensive lineman for us.
Let me tell you something. This is the first time you've been on my show, and I've had the coaches from Rip Shear, who Tommy, and way back when, whoever, Charlie Bailey, I've had them all on my show. You're as good a guest as I've had. You know your team. You've got it down. I'm not that Tommy didn't. You need to do more public appearances. And last year you got some criticism for not being available enough for the press. The press can be pains in the rear, but you got to deal with them. They're reality. They're reality.
Right. I think that they were probably a tad bit upset, and things were taken out of context. And so, well, your practices are closed. They were not closed. It was structured to where the media came in at the early part of practice, got what they needed, and we could go on with our day and them not be a distraction with cameras in our faces and all those things. And there's some things you don't want on camera. And you want to know when you can do certain things based on them not having the camera on. And they, or whoever took that out of context, well, his practices were closed. They were never closed. The media was there basically every day. And so that was not an issue. In terms of getting out, I've been doing about as much as I can do and going as many places as I can go. I'm actually calling people saying, hey, do you need me?
Good for you.
So we've been out, we're spreading the word, and we will continue to do that. I'm not, it's not that I'm not accessible. I just didn't realize that I had to, to reach out to people as opposed to them, reaching out to you, because it's a lot of things that I would like to be more involved in here. It's just, one, it being a fit, and two, getting the proper contacts to where you know that what's going on, you can truly have an impact. And I've always been a guy, I'm not a camera guy, I don't show up for the camera, I don't do that. I like to involve myself with things that I can have an impact. And sometimes it takes more than a 30-minute appearance to do that. And so we're in a city that our youth, they need positive role models.
Sure do.
And I need to be more serving to them. Our team need to be more serving to them, because there's a lot of guys, a lot of players on our team can relate to these young men who are struggling in certain areas and could be the difference in their lives. And somebody made a difference in their lives to put them in a position to where they're in college, they're pursuing an education with the opportunity to improve their quality of life. And we need to be able to give that back to those who need us. And so I'm big on that, and I get on our kids about that. And that was one of the reasons this past weekend we had what we call Tiger Pride Day.
Yeah.
We wanted to go out in the community. And, we want to take pride in our community. We want to clean it up. We want to help where help was needed. And come next year, we will expand that project. And throughout the course of this fall, as well as this spring, we'll be doing more things with our team so we can truly get a grip on this city from a community service standpoint. But we're here to serve.
Well, that's wonderful. I saw that in the paper. I was real impressed. Anybody other than the Skylar Jones kid? I keep up with your team real close.
Yeah.
And anybody else that I'd be surprised to see? Are there any red shirts or any walk-ons or anybody that's going to be surprised about?
Well, first, I want to compliment you on what you just said, because you are very knowledgeable about our program, not just from our kids there, but who we're recruiting. And to me, that means a lot to me, because I know that you care and you want to see us succeed. So thank you.
Got my season tickets, and I encourage everybody else to get theirs too.
But first and foremost, the position we just got through talking about, quarterback. I think that as we go into fall camp, it wouldn't. I think that Skylar, as well as Taylor Reed, and Will Gilchrist for that matter, will truly challenge Andy for the starting position. I believe that. And I also believe that whoever the starting quarterback is, and Andy is one tough competitor, and I know that he will fight to sustain where he is right now. But no matter who that guy is, he would be better and more productive than what we had last year. And so I'm excited about that. So I would tell everybody to watch our quarterback race very, very closely, and I think they'll be happy with the productivity from that position. In terms of surprises, there's a couple of guys out there that Fred Harvey I mentioned. I don't think a lot of people saw what they're going to see from Lonnie Ballantyne as well as Torian Nixon, our corners here. You know, they played enough last year that they've gotten experience, but the growth that's taken place since the season has been over with has been phenomenal. So if bar no injuries, I'm looking forward to them guys having all conference type years as sophomores because they're capable and they're talented. And the one guy that I've been impressed with, although he got injured some, but just the way that he transitioned from offense to defense, and he caught on mentally, was Cannon Smith at safety. You know, it was surprising to see him grasp our defense, and you know, when you can see a guy come to life and be as focused as he was at times, when I saw him just zeroed in on his responsibility and was productive, I think people will be surprised in terms of what they see from him. Our defensive front, the reason I say they'll be a surprise because I'm looking forward to us not just having a good, strong front, but I'm looking forward to us being too deep in our defensive front. So we'll roll a lot of guys, and those, our twos have a chance to be just as productive as our ones. We just got to keep pushing them forward, but I'm excited about this. So that group as a whole. And then on the offensive side of the ball, all these young kids we got in. You got LaMarvin Ashley, who's from Mississippi, the fastest guy in the state of Mississippi. Joe Price, who's probably one of the top 5 guys, the top five fastest guys in the state of Mississippi. Looking forward to him. Carl Harris, Octavius Gibson. Those guys, I'm truly, as young guys, I'm looking forward to them.
Coach, you've got me excited about the season. I'm ready for September 1st. Conference USA is tougher. We had East Carolina coming in. We had UAB coming in. They got a new defensive coordinator. We need to do something on them. So we got an interesting season. I'm ready. You need to stay out there and make those appearances because you're a great guest and you've got a good story to tell, and we need to support you and the Tigers this year, and I look forward to a good season and the foundation for a great program.
Well, thank you, and I do want the city to know, or the community to know, that I am accessible, and I will, if called upon, honor their request if it fits our schedule, just based on time constraints. But I'm ready to serve this community. I've always felt like I was a part of it, so that won't stop. But more so than anything, you will see a more improved product as we go forward. And the thing that's taking place, and I want to say this because I want to compliment our administration, Dr. Raines and R.C. Johnson, for investing in our program. We got a big campaign going on now.
Capital program.
And we need all the monies that we can get, because what this project will continue to do to our program is revolutionize it, because there's a lot of great changes going on, and it's like planting a seed. When you plant a seed, it has to grow roots first, and then once it grows roots, it starts to flourish and grow, and that's what we've been doing over the past years, kind of growing roots to this program. Now it's time to flourish, and that's kind of where we are. This campaign will be a part of it, and the other part of it is our fans in the community showing up for games. That's critical, and I appreciate your support and looking forward to giving you guys a product that you can enjoy as well as embrace.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
I'll be there with you, and thank you for being with us. We got a gardener and we got a football coach. Support your Tigers. This is Congressman Steve Cohen with Coach Larry Porter. This has been Congressional Report. Buy your season tickets. Get ready for Tiger football.
All right.
We are this close.
We are this close.
Tutelak models.
This close to making history.
Often wanting.
We are this close.
We are this
We're
close.
this close.
This close to changing the world. We are this close to making sure no child suffers a crippling disease
ever again.
We are this close to making history.
We are this close to ending polio.
Because we are this close to ending polio.
We are this close to ending polio.
We are
This close to changing the world.
This close.
All we need is you.
Is you.
It's you.
Is you.
We are this close. This close.
Be a part of history.
The preteen years are a challenging time, but they're also a good time to think about your child's health, which is why, if you're the parent of an 11 or 12-year-old, you need to know about preteen vaccines. Vaccines that can protect your preteen from meningitis, whooping cough, and for girls, the virus that causes cervical cancer. So schedule a checkup for your child today and ask about preteen vaccines, because your preteen might think that they're grown up, but they're counting on you to know better.
Brought to you by DHHS and the CDC.
Hello, I'm Congressman Steve Cohen, and this is Congressional Report. Our special guest is Joe Warren, a veteran who fought for our country and just received some medals that were late in coming but were presented to him at our Congressional office, and a hero of the labor movement and the civil rights movement here in Memphis, one of the founders of the AFSCME, American Federation State, County, and Municipal Employees, Local 1733, the union that's known as the union that brought Dr. King here. And unfortunately, Dr. King lost his life coming here to stand up for labor, I am a man, and the opportunity for people to earn a decent wage. Joe, welcome to Legislative Congressional Report.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I am the man.
You are indeed, and that's why you're here.
I am the man.
And you were born in Cordova, Tennessee in 1921, is that right?
April 27, 1921. I'm 90 years old.
And you were recently in the White House. Tell us about why you were there and what happened.
Well, President Obama invited someone to come to the White House.
You and who else?
Me and 8 more, 7 more other employees.
From AFSCME, sanitation workers.
Yes, sir.
And y'all were there because of the importance of that movement in 1968.
That's right.
And were you recognized also with the Department of Labor?
We were recognized for that.
And Secretary Solis, Hilda Solis, Secretary of Labor, had a special program and recognized you. And then was there a program here in Memphis as well?
I don't think so. That's in Washington, D.C.
Just to Washington, D.C. And you had your birthday during that program,
They had
right?
it was on my birthday. I was glad to be there.
Did you have a cake?
Yeah, so I had a great big cake I ever had in my life.
It was at the White House?
At the White House.
So did President Obama have a piece of it?
No, he wasn't there. I think he was down in where they had that storm. The time they had that storm.
In Missouri, maybe. Joplin, Missouri?
No, not in Missouri.
Oklahoma?
Anyway, I can't take this picture. I can't talk real good.
We've had so many storms with this global warming.
There was a storm down in Louisiana.
Louisiana had, that's right.
Down in Louisiana, that's what he was.
Tell me what you did with as far as getting, you and T.O. Jones, y'all were involved together.
Okay, I'll tell you about T.O. Jones and myself. I worked at Firestone. T.O. and they were trying to organize a union.
Rubber Workers Union.
Sanitation workers.
Okay.
Sanitation workers. Thomas Jones started this local union. There was no name that had a union. T.O. started and got fired. They fired 33 men. 17 of them got back to work. So T.O. never did give it up. And I was working at Firestone, got laid off at Firestone. I'd run the cafe at Moore Ben Dunlap, and the men just come to the cafe and eat all the time, and kept me about the job. So I got a job at the city. And I started to work there. The men wasn't getting no breaks, no lunch period, no nothing. They were getting paid the 1st and the 15th of the month. I had that changed because they was beaten. I didn't have much education. I had a 5th grade education, but I got all my training from the Army. The Army trained me, my training. So I went there. I started the Union North. I named it, 1733. The reason why I named it 1733 because 33 men got fired and 17 of them got back to work.
Well, I never knew that. That's
why I named it 1733. I didn't know. I thought you had to have 2 names, but Joe Ames told me so you can have 4 for 4 numbers. So I named it 1733. I named it myself. When I come overseas, I didn't come back. I was in Torrance, Lago, Peter Santo, Bill Riggio, Rome, did it. I thought all those. That's how before that in Italy. I never had no ride until I got back to the state. We had it rough overseas. And I captured some prisoners over there. And I had got, they sent me to Rome to the capital. When I captured them folks, they sent me to Rome to it. I can't talk real good because I'm 90 years old and my wind is real short.
But I understand you. I think people can. But you were.
I hope you can understand me.
You were. How old were you? You were about 20 years old when you got in the Army?
I was 21.
1942. Did you volunteer?
No, I didn't volunteer. They drafted me in the Army.
Okay.
They drafted me in the Army.
And where'd you go? Was the Army was segregated at that time? Was it not?
Yeah, nothing but blacks.
Right.
And I was in the black. 93rd was all black. 92nd Division was all black. And so we had to fight. They sent me overseas in 1943, I think it was. And I stayed over in Italy. That's why we fought that over in Italy.
Was your whole unit black in Italy?
Yes, sir. All blacks.
And how about your commanders? Were they black too?
All but one. They was all black, all but one. Everything was black. And when overseas.
It's hard to believe, and I don't know that people understand that the people, Americans, risking their lives, defending this nation, were segregated.
That's right, they were.
And President Truman stopped that.
That's right.
After the war, I guess it was.
It was after the war.
Yeah, President Truman stopped that.
They were all black. On the front line, on Hill, X, Y, and Z. Blood was running down, people getting killed, people getting shot and everything. But I have my after Ducky one. I got my teeth knocked out. That's all happened to me. I froze to the ground. 2 days and 2 nights. No food, nothing to eat, no nothing. Because the Germans cut the mule. See, we got our food by a mule train. The mountain was high up there. And on the way to get our food to us, by a mule, bring it to us. A man was leading mules to us. So I got our food, and he got cut off. And we had nothing to eat and nothing to take.
Now, when you were at my office about 2-3 weeks ago, we got the medals that you earned and hadn't been given. There were several of them. But you told me about a story where you used your weapon and you were maybe the lone survivor.
Yeah, we had to walk everywhere we went. We had to walk from town to town. We walked. Never did get no ride. And my boot rubbed a bit on my heel. And I was sitting down waiting for the next to come by, and I heard somebody walk in some rocks. I looked up. There was 6 German headed the back that swung on. So I said, oh, they're going to get me. I just turned around and put me in the prone position. And put them. I said, "Hop, don't go there." And they looked around. I said, "Don't move." They didn't know what I was seeing, and I didn't know what they were seeing. They had their hands up there. And so I went there and on honor. And told them, sit down. They sat down on the ground. So I shot my gun 3 times, bam, bam, bam. And so I saw a Jeep coming by, and I took my hands out and waved my hands, and they come over to see what I want. I said, Daddy is right there. Had a big old blister on my heel. So they took them guys and carried me and sent me to the hospital and got my leg all messed up. Yeah. And so that's why I got the medal. I was in the Army AFSCME in 1945, and I didn't know I was entitled to them till you and Randy Wade told me about them. I didn't know I didn't even entitled to them.
There were about 4 or 5 of them, if I remember, maybe 6.
Here it was, 7.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we were happy to do that for you, and we do that for veterans whenever we
I
can.
never know I was entitled to them. Had been for you and Randy told me about them.
Now, how long when did you come? You came home in 1945?
45. I thought the 3rd of January, 1945.
And when did you leave the military? It was a little bit later than that?
I left the military December 31st, 1945.
And then when did you start working up at Firestone?
I started working at Firestone I think it was in 45 or something like that.
So you worked there for a long time at Firestone?
I was at Firestone a long time.
A lot of people today don't realize how big the Firestone plant was, how many people it employed.
Oh, it was a bunch of people, and I was a custodian. See, I swept the floor, and I was making $3.35 an hour. And they had department seniority. And you get laid off. I was the only black in the department, and they couldn't lay me off until they got to the last. And they laid me off then. So I didn't know I was entitled to them start and nothing else.
And when did you go to work with the city, with the AFSCME?
Okay, I went back to the city in 1962. I went to the city. They wasn't getting no breaks, no night period, nothing. So I had some training by being a staff sergeant in the Army. Thomas Harvey Jones started with the union, and he got fired.
Who fired him? Loeb?
No, not no. They fired him. Ingham, somebody fired him.
Yeah.
They had a mayor by the name of George Ingham, I think it was.
Yeah, there was Joseph Ingram, right?
Yeah, I go way back. Ingham them fired him, and Tom Jones didn't know what to do. He was still trying to buy what he was doing, so he heard about me, and somebody gave him my name, and he called me, and he sent a fellow by the name of Arthur Smith and Arthur Jones to come to my house and told me Jones wanted to talk to me. So I said, well, tell me, call me. And he called me and asked me about the union, and so I started to talk with him. And he told me, he said, you can be a big help to me, and asked me to help to you. I said, I don't read real good. I didn't get behind the 5th grade. He said, I can read a little bit, and you can think doing good. So I want you to work with me. We started the union from then on. We started meeting at my house.
What year was this about?
That was in 62.
62.
62. Started the meeting. The preachers thing, I wasn't able to meet at no churches. No, I can't be at my church, I can't be at my church. So me and Theo Jones come down the street, and we saw a house for sale. We backed up there and got the sign to the house. He said, GI only. $6 down, $6 down. I put in for the house, and I got the house.
That was GI loan?
Yeah, GI loan. I'm in the house there now. They got a sign tied up in front of my house.
An historical marker?
Yes, sir. At the marker in front of my house. Joe Brown, in the city camera, put it at my house 4 years ago. That I am a man.
Tell us about this sign.
That sign, when I come overseas, I feel I'm on my knees. I said, well, thank God I'm back home. I am a man. When I met with Mayor Lowe, he told me, he said, if you call them folks, I met with Mayor Lowe on the 4th day of July in 1967. He told me, he said, if them men don't go to work, you're going to be the first man I'm going to fire. I said, well, I am a man. You do what you have to do, I'm going to do what I have to do. That's why that sign saying I'm a man. I told Mayor Lowe that, and now he's all over the world, I read.
So Mayor Loeb said he was going to fire you.
He said he's going to fire me if I pull them men on strike. I pulled them men off a strike the first time in 1966, and they got an injunction against us. We had to go back to work. In 1968, the whole community got behind us. That's how we got the union. This city, the cause of this union being in Memphis today, because the sanitation department, the men was all scared. He was all scared. And now they get hard about, we did this, we did that. All them men did something, it dead and gone. It ain't but 48 of them now. And all of them they did. Most of these guys you see down here now, they didn't do nothing. They scabbed. They went to work. And I can call names, if I will.
You got the union started with T.O. Jones. What were the main grievances you had back in 1968 that led to the strike?
I wasn't getting no breaks, and didn't have no money to get no food, we had nothing else. My wife, I never forget it, told me before she died, she used to have fun with me all the time to Joe. I said, yeah. She said, they tell me all men work for the city ate at the garbage can. I said, Can you help out to get food? I said, they tell me the men work for the city ate at the garbage can. Did you eat at the garbage can? I told her, I said, I'm a man, ain't I? She said, I ain't by ask you. You got at the garbage can? I just told her, I'm alive. I ain't never told her yet. I got the garbage can. That was the question I asked her. I ain't never told her, but I did. I ain't gonna tell her don't die. I don't have to die now because I'm 90 years old. I ate at the garbage can too, because it was good food, and the folks were real nice to me. I was in the white neighborhood, and they'd put that food in the garbage can and put some paper with it, and I get that food out there and eat it.
It was intended for you.
Yeah, but and that wasn't intended for me too. If it do good and it was good, I ate it.
I understand.
Yes, I ate it.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna tell no die.
So the reasons y'all had the protests is the wages weren't good.
I was gonna say it wasn't nothing good, but the way.
And there was hardly, and Mayor Loeb refused to deal with the union at all. Or
Mayor Loeb had been in mayor before.
From 59 to 63 before England.
Yeah. So he had been mayor before. So everybody would tell me, Mayor Loeb gonna win, Mayor Loeb gonna win. I said, well, I'm going to talk to Mayor Loeb. So I called Mayor Loeb. I called him on the first day of July, and told him I want to talk with him. He told me, I'll meet with 4 of y'all, no more than 4. I couldn't get but one man to go with me, Arthur Jones. Out of all those men, 1,384 people, I ain't going to those houses, I said, okay, Arthur Jones, don't mess with me. And now everybody heard about what we did. Those men didn't do nothing. The whole community got with us. White folks, black folks, dogs, cats, and everything. We get right down to the city hall and take the back to the city hall. And we went down there, Miss Beck and all of them got scared. Frank People, Lombo and all of them, Gerald Moe and all of them got scared. They wasn't looking at us. So that's how we got the union started. We catch everybody down there. And that's how we got started. I can't talk real good because I'm 90 years old and my breath gets short.
Well, you take your time. We're good. Tell me this. What's your first memory of Dr. King coming to Memphis or thinking about coming to Memphis? And whose idea was it?
H. Ralph Jackson first to talk to us about.
Reverend H. Ralph Jackson.
Reverend H. Ralph Jackson talked to us about.
He was also involved in. Was he involved in the labor movement as well?
No, he wasn't.
Just he was a preacher.
Reverend Lawton know Dr. King, so Reverend Lawton got Dr. King to come here.
Fred Lawton.
Yeah, Reverend Lawton, Jim Lawton. And
Jim Lawson.
Jim Lawson.
James Lawson. Okay,
James
Lawson.
And Reverend Dozier.
Bishop Dozier.
Bishop Dozier.
He was at IC, head of the bishop, Catholic bishop.
Yeah, he did one. They started. So after the whole preaching thing got started in with it, they took over the union then. And so they cut me out. But they sent me to Firestone and Harvard to take up money. And I go there and take that money on Wednesday. I go there in the harbor, and I had a foot tub in my car. And it be that foot tub for the money on a Wednesday, and on a Thursday, I go to Firestone and get the money. So that I because the money are going.
Now, when Dr. King came here, did you march with Dr. King?
I was the first everything. I was the first steward, the first chief steward. I was the first president. We got the union and everything. I was the first everything, but I never been a secretary and never been a director. But I was the assistant director. I gave the job to Smith of being the director, because Smith had more education than me.
James Smith?
James Smith.
Reverend Smith.
That's how he got the job.
Now, when Dr. King came here the first time, the signs, everybody marched and they had these signs, did they not?
No, they had no signs then.
No?
They didn't have no signs. I had them signs made up that I'm a man.
But you marched with Dr. King the first time?
I marched with him all the time. In the march, but I couldn't, the preachers thing took over. They marched in the front with Dr. King, and we all had to get behind. But I am the first everything in the whole local union.
You were recognized for such, and we appreciate that. Let me ask you this. When Dr. King was here and was assassinated, where were you on that day, April 4 of 68?
Down at the bottom of the steps down there.
At the motel?
Yeah, at the hotel.
Tell me what you heard. What's your reaction?
Only thing I know, a bunch of us was all downstairs, and Dr. King was upstairs, come out on the porch. And so we heard a shot, and everybody dug down and started running. So I was running too, and then they heard Dr. King did. So, and he come back then, say, hey, I shot in the neck, and they right down to St. George Hospital. He went to St. George Hospital, and they said he was dead then. That's how we found out he was dead.
That was a tragic day for the world.
That's right.
Ironically, I'll mention today that we're filming this day is International Nelson Mandela Day. And Nelson Mandela, Dr. King. That's
right.
Two great men. And Nelson Mandela's still with us. He's about your age. He's 91, I think, today.
Well, I'm 90.
Yeah. Well, so you're a youngster.
Yeah, I'm a young man under him.
Yeah. Who are some of the people now? When the movement finally where were you when they came together and recognized the union?
On the way we got recognized. The whole community, the sanitation department and public works and the asphalt plant were all together. It was 1,384 people. I had to print out. We never would have won this union had it hadn't been for the city of this city and the one nearby. Those the people that won the union. The sanitation department was always scared. I ain't got nothing to lie about, and I will not lie. Was always scared. Some of the men went out to Washington was scared.
Who were the heroes? Who would you say were the Reverend James Lawson? Joe Warren was a hero. T.O. Jones was a hero.
Those the men. T.O. Jones, Reverend Lawson, Reverend Jackson, Reverend Mill Brooks. I can't name all them people. But I say one thing. The city of Cameron, where you didn't talk to us, nobody but J.O. Patterson. Reverend Nutters wouldn't tell nothing.
J.O. was on the city council, wasn't he?
J.O. was city council. Fred Day was on the city council. Wouldn't say nothing either.
How about Jared Blanchard and Downing Pryor? Weren't they pretty good men?
They spoke out.
Yeah, they stood up. And John T. Fisher.
Yeah, they spoke out.
Yeah.
But three back city council, and one of them spoke out. J.O. Patterson.
Tell me about Mayor Loeb. Did you and he ever make up and have some?
No, they never did make a call. Because when we got the union started off, Mayor Loeb, they impeached him or something. He had to go out.
So Mayor Loeb never kind of tried to make a report, but he recognized the union eventually, did they not?
No, he never did do that. The next president was I forget his name, because I think that I can't.
Chandler.
Chandler was the man.
Yeah, he followed Loeb,
and you don't remember, but I remember you. Come to the hall.
I was a police attorney way back when.
You were way back in 1960. You were something to the hall.
Not 1960. 1960, I was at Idlewild School. I was in the 5th grade. Don't get me too old, Joe.
Wait a minute. In 1968, I took the venue. You were one of you?
1968, I was a freshman at Vanderbilt. I was just learning. I was sitting at the feet of Julian Bond at Vanderbilt.
You know Frank People Palumbo now?
I knew Frank Palumbo.
Gerald Moore?
Knew Gerald Moore. I knew them. I got hired, went to work for the city in 1975 as an assistant city attorney.
Oh, I got you wrong then. You were wrong. I didn't know
somebody else, but Mayor Chandler hired me.
He did it?
Yep.
Yeah, Mayor Chandler was a fine man.
He was a fine man. I learned a lot from Mayor Chandler.
Mayor Chandler was a good man.
And he did, when he was in on a union thing or anything else, he was in charge. Let me get this straight now. The union people want to get a better wage, and we need to reserve our budget, and let's get this stuff done. And Mayor Chandler get it done.
We ain't had none other mayor as good as he was today. I think anywhere, Mayor Chandler is good a man that we ever had. We ain't had no better.
Well, on that note, I want to thank you for all you did for our country and the Army, for our city with the AFSCME, and for being on our show.
Thank you for having me. Had it been for you and Randy Wade, I never would have been here today because I didn't know about it. I didn't know what I was entitled to Randy and you, the one helped me to what was going on, what I was entitled. I didn't know.
We're happy to do it. That's our job.
I didn't know it. God didn't know it. I've been here 60-some years. I didn't know I didn't tie to all them stars, and I didn't know I didn't tie to nothing. To you and Randy Wade.
We're happy to do it, Joe, and thank you.
Happy to do it for me.
Thank you for what you did for our country. I'm Steve Cohen. This is Congressional Report with Joe Warren, one of the heroes of Memphis. Thank you for watching.